Hi, welcome back to our discussion of JavaScript, this time primitives part 2. So the JavaScript primitive type as a review. JavaScript has a dynamic type system, so any one variable can be one data type at one moment and set to another data type at another. That doesn't mean type is not important or non-existent. All data still has a type. It's just that the type system is fluid, unlike, say, Java or C#, where the data type or for a variable is set in its declaration and it never changes. So a primitive in JavaScript is a data type with a single value. That's its definition. And so there are 7 primitive data types in JavaScript: string, number, boolean, symbol, big int. Then 2 kind of special primitive data types, undefined and null. And there's some disagreement on the nature of null. Does it really a primitive data type? I'm going to categorize it that way because it has all the behaviors of a primitive data type, but we'll see what the nature of the discussion is anyway. So this is going to be about what's special in JavaScript. So we're going to look in Chrome Developers Console. We're going to look at the behavior of undefined, what null is, and the distinction between undefined and null. And then we're going to look at a special value of the number type, nan, or not a number. So I'm in Chrome, and I'll navigate even from the Chrome developer page. Go to About Blank. So when I hit Control-Shift-I and bring up the developer console, it will be empty for us. So I'll declare a variable here, not setting it to a value, and then query its value by typing this in. This is what's nice about the developer console. I can just type in the value, and it's undefined. So its value is set to undefined. I declared it, but I didn't set it to any value. Therefore, it's set to undefined. And that's really the meaning of undefined, an unset value. Let's see its data type. Also undefined. So undefined is both a data type and a value of a data type. And think of the nature of JavaScript to understand this. This concept doesn't exist in Java or C#. And it's because this declaration is different. We don't declare the data type here. Therefore, if we don't set it to anything on the right-hand side, JavaScript has no idea what it is. It knows it's a variable, but its type is undefined. That's why that special data type exists, and it is a primitive type as well as being a value. Now let's set I to null. So what the difference is here is this is a purposeful setting. I've set it to null, whereas before I just declared the value of I without setting it to anything. So whenever you see a JavaScript expression that doesn't have a value, it's never been set to anything, you'll see undefined as its data type and its value. The value of null is similar in concept to the value of null in Java or C#, with an important distinction. Let's look at its data type, the data type of I right now. And it's defined as an object. This is regarded by most people as a bug in JavaScript that came in with the first version of JavaScript and then could never be fixed because it would break existing code. So null is a primitive type and a primitive setting like undefined. But if you ask what's the type of it, JavaScript will say object. Other people think that the type of null being object is purposeful and necessary to the design of JavaScript, but that's getting a little far afield in our discussion. We'll disregard it as a primitive type. So the next kind of special thing that comes up in JavaScript is not a number, or nan. So we have this value of I, and this time we'll give it a value of 0. And now we're going to inquiry the type of I. And we see that it's a number. So it's been data typed to a number. That makes sense. I set to I divided by I. Now we know this is an invalid operation because we're dividing by 0. And then what's the result of the invalid operation? Not a number. So I has the value of not a number. So when you're parsing a string in Java and you're converting to a number, you'll get not a number if the user entered in something that couldn't be parsed as a number. So that's the behavior of JavaScript, not a number. Or you try to do arithmetic division, for example, by 0. Not a number. If I involved I now in any other arithmetic calculation, the result will be not a number because I included not a number in that calculation. So what's the type of I? Let's take a look at that type of I. So it's still a data type as a number. So not a number is a special data type of the type number. So let's review. In Chrome Developer's Console, we saw undefined. Declare a variable. Don't set it to a value, but with its data type is undefined. You haven't set it to a value, so JavaScript can't guess the data type. And it's also its value set as undefined. Null means it was especially set to an empty value, and its data type is type of object, even though it also behaves like a data primitive in having a single value. Then we looked at the special value of the number type, not a number, which you get when you try to do an invalid numeric operation in JavaScript, either parse a string that doesn't parse into a number or do an invalid arithmetic operation. So special value for the number type, it's still a number type, not a number.